Okay, so you want to own a car wash. Good news. It might be the simplest business in America. There are about 60,000 of them in the United States, and the product basically makes itself. Water, soap, a few spinning brushes, a machine that does the work while you count the money. Cars get dirty. It rains, it snows, the roads get salted, and every single one of those cars has to get clean again. You charge $15, the car drives in filthy and drives out shining, and you keep most of what's left. No spoiling inventory, no kitchen, no staff of 30. Just a building, a machine, and an endless supply of dirty cars. It sounds like a money printing machine with a drain in the floor. It is not. The dirty little secret of the car wash business is that washing cars, one car at a time, for cash, is a terrible way to make a living. The variable cost of running a single car through a modern tunnel is real, but tiny. Water and electricity run under $1 a car, chemicals, soap, wax, the pink foam run another $1 or $2, so each wash costs you $2, maybe $3 to produce, and you sell it for $15. That's a beautiful margin. And it is almost completely beside the point because the number of cars that actually drive in on any given day is wildly unpredictable, and it collapses the moment the weather turns nice. By the end of this video, you will understand why a car wash makes almost none of its money washing cars one at a time. You will understand why the busiest looking wash on the block can be the least profitable one. You will understand the single customer every car wash owner dreams about, the one who pays every month and almost never shows up. And you will understand why, in the last 10 years, Wall Street quietly bought up thousands of these things, loaded them with debt, and why that decision just pushed one of the biggest chains in the country into bankruptcy. Let's start with what you're actually buying, because a car wash is not one business. It comes in 3 sizes, and they are 3 completely different businesses. The first is the self-serve car wash, the coin-op, a row of open bays where the customer does the work himself, feeding quarters or tapping a card into a wand that sprays soap and water. You've seen them, usually a little tired, usually on a corner. You can get into one for as little as $50,000 for a small existing site, and a modest build might run you a few $100,000. Almost no staff, almost no automation, and almost no growth. This is the tier people buy imagining passive income, and mostly what they get is a property that needs quarters counted and vandalism repaired. The second is the in-bay automatic. This is the single rollover machine, the one bolted to the side of a gas station, where the arch crawls back and forth over your parked car while you sit inside and wait. One car at a time, no conveyor, no tunnel. Building one runs anywhere from around $250,000 on the low end to well over $1 million once you add the site work, the equipment, and a water reclaim system, which many states now require by law. It's more automated than the coin-op, but it's slow. One car has to finish before the next one starts, and that ceiling on volume is the whole problem with this tier. And then there's the top tier, the one that ate the entire industry, the express tunnel. This is the long conveyor wash, 100 to 150 feet of tunnel, where a belt grabs your tire and pulls the car through a wall of brushes and blowers while you sit in neutral and take your hands off the wheel. A brand new express tunnel is not a small business. The equipment alone runs $1.5 to $2 million. Add the building, the land, the site work, the permits, and a state-of-the-art express wash costs anywhere from around $4 million to well over $7 million to open. The Mr. Car Wash chain, the biggest operator in the country, runs more than 500 of these. This is the tier where the real money lives, and it is not the tier most people picture when they think car wash. So you've picked your tier. Let's say you're building the express tunnel, because that's where the industry went. Now you have to actually put it together, and this is where the simple little wash-a-car business gets expensive fast. Start with the land. An express tunnel needs a big, visible corner with easy in and out and stacking room for a long line of cars. Exactly the kind of high-traffic commercial pad that gas stations and fast food chains are also fighting for. That's frequently $1 million to $2 million in dirt alone before you pour a single foot of concrete. Then the building. The tunnel structure itself, the long shed the conveyor runs through, plus the palings and vacuum canopy, runs somewhere between $750,000 $1.5 million to construct. Then the equipment. And this is the expensive heart of the whole thing. The conveyor, the correlators, the wraps, the top brushes, the high pressure arches, the dryers, the water reclaim system that recycles your water so you're not paying to buy and dump thousands of gallons an hour. That package runs $1.5 to over $2 million. Then the things nobody pictures. The vacuum system, rows of free vacuums that customers now expect, plus the point of sale, the license plate readers, the gates, and the membership software that runs the whole back end. Then permits and environmental compliance, another $15,000 to $40,000, more if your water discharge situation is complicated. Add it up. Land, building, tunnel equipment, vacuums, technology, permits, and the working capital to run empty for the first several months while you build a customer base. A single new express tunnel car wash runs from about $4 million to more than $7 million to get the doors open, and you haven't washed a single car yet. Now, the question that actually matters, where does the money come from? Because it is almost never the single $15 wash. Here's the problem with selling washes one at a time. Your revenue is a slave to the weather and the calendar. On a cold, salty Saturday after a snowstorm, the line wraps around the block and you can push well over 100 cars an hour through the tunnel. Then it rains for a week and nobody comes because no one pays to wash a car that's about to get wet. Then spring arrives, the weather turns beautiful, and this is the cruel part, on the nicest days people don't think about washing their car at all. A business whose demand craters both when the weather is bad and when the weather is perfect is almost impossible to run on walk-up cash alone. So the industry did something clever. It stopped selling washes, it started selling a subscription. This is the Unlimited Wash Club, and it is the entire secret of the modern car wash. Instead of paying $15 per wash, you pay a flat monthly fee, usually somewhere between $20 and $40, and you can run your car through as many times as you want. Wash it every day if you like. And the moment a customer signs up for that, something magical happens to the car wash's economics. That customer stops being weather. He becomes a recurring monthly payment that hits the owner's account on the same day every month, whether it rains, snows, shines, or the customer forgets the wash exists entirely. And here is the part that makes the whole model work. Most of them forget it exists. The Unlimited Car Wash membership is, functionally, a gym membership for your car. You sign up in January full of good intentions, you wash the car a few times, and then life happens and you stop going. But the $29 keeps coming out of your account every month because canceling requires effort and you keep telling yourself you'll start using it again. The industry has a term for the calculation that matters here. It's called the break-even wash count. At $29 a month, a member only has to run through twice to get their money's worth against a $15 single wash. The quiet truth of the business is that a large share of members don't even hit that. They pay for unlimited and use almost nothing. The phantom member, paying every month, filling the tunnel with exactly 0 cars, is the single most profitable customer a car wash has. So the real revenue reveal is a numbered list and only one item on it is what you'd expect. Stream 1 is the memberships. This is the machine. A well-run express tunnel wants thousands of members on autopay. At Mr. Car Wash, the biggest chain in the country, subscriptions are now roughly 80% of all wash sales, and the company reports more than 2 million unlimited members. Do the math on 2 million people paying around $30 a month and mostly not showing up. That is more than $700 million a year, and you understand why this is no longer a car wash business. It's a subscription business that happens to own some tunnels. Stream 2 is throughput on the members who do show up. Because members already paid, they come back often, and a tunnel that can move 100 plus cars an hour at a marginal cost of $2 or $3 a car turns that traffic into almost pure margin. The subscription smooths the revenue, and the conveyor speed turns the busy days into profit instead of chaos. Stream 3 is the add-ons and the retail. The upgrade to the ceramic coating tier, the tire shine, the premium wax, the single wash walk-ups who never convert to members but still pay full freight. It's the smallest stream, and it's the one the sign is actually advertising. There's a fourth quiet stream underneath all of it, which is the real estate. A car wash sits on a valuable commercial corner, and big operators often own that land or hold long leases on it, an asset that appreciates in the background. But make no mistake about the order of things here. The land is the floor, the membership base is the business. When one of these chains gets sold, the buyer isn't really paying for the brushes and the blowers, he's paying a multiple of that recurring monthly membership revenue, because that's the part that keeps paying whether it rains or not. So the car wash learned the single best trick in modern business. It turned a weather-dependent, one-time cash transaction into a predictable monthly subscription, and then it got paid by thousands of people who barely use it. That should be the perfect business. So why did one of the biggest car wash chains in America just file for bankruptcy? Because the same subscription magic that makes a single wash a gold mine is exactly what convinced Wall Street to build too many of them with borrowed money. Here's the structural trap. Once private equity understood that a car wash was really a subscription business with predictable recurring revenue, they fell in love with it. Recurring revenue is the most valuable kind of revenue there is, the kind investors will pay a premium multiple for. So over the last decade, private equity firms poured billions into the industry, buying up regional chains and racing to build hundreds of new express tunnels. A strategy the industry calls a roll-up, which just means using one company to acquire many smaller ones and bolt them into a giant. The idea was simple: buy and build thousands of car washes, stack up millions of members, and sell the whole machine to the next investor at a higher multiple. But a roll-up built on borrowed money has two problems. The first is that they overbuilt. In a lot of markets, there are now 4 express tunnels within sight of each other, all discounting the same $29 membership, splitting the same finite pool of local cars. The second is the debt. When you buy and build with billions in loans, you owe enormous interest payments every month, and those payments do not care how many members you have. And that's exactly what happened to Zips Car Wash. Backed by private equity, Zips grew to more than 250 locations through more than 40 acquisitions, powered by debt. Revenue climbed toward $345 million at the peak. And in early 2025, carrying more than $600 million in debt, Zips Car Wash filed for bankruptcy. Not because people stopped washing cars, because the company had borrowed more than its very predictable membership revenue could carry. Around the same time, Driven Brands, another giant, announced it was getting out of the car wash business entirely, selling off nearly 400 domestic locations for $385 million. Even Mr. Car Wash, the healthy market leader, went private. The subscription model worked exactly as designed. The debt stacked on top of it did not. This is the difference between a car wash and almost every other business we've covered. With most businesses, the danger is that customers won't show up. With a car wash, the model is so good at getting people to pay for not showing up that the real danger flips. The recurring revenue is so reliable and so attractive to investors that owners and their financiers borrow against it until the building itself is buried under debt, and the thing that kills the car wash is never the customers, it's the loan. The people who got rich in the car wash business were almost never the ones washing cars. They were the ones who figured out that the tunnel was just a reason to collect a monthly subscription, and who sold that subscription base before the debt caught up with them. The wash was never the product. The wash is the excuse. The product is the $29 that leaves your account every month for a car you haven't cleaned since spring.